practice today, everybody. Happy Earth Day. And thanks for sharing a few moments of your day together with me. My name's Alice, and I am one of the co-directors at Inspired Yoga Institute. And we've been doing these classes for, I think this is the 6th week that we're doing it. And the intention of these classes really is to share a piece of our own hearts and what each of the faculty members does for our own personal practices. And so we're going to keep on doing these until at least the end of April, and then May we're going to see, we might switch it up a little bit, but stay tuned for that. And so today what I wanted to share from my practice is backbends. Oh my gosh, I have been feeling like this a lot lately. My partner Amir has really noticed that I've been really kind of protecting my heart in some way. And I've noticed that even when I sleep, I'm kind of curled up into this tight little ball. And our bodies hold so much. You know, they hold so much of our emotions, they hold so much of our thoughts. And as the place that stores many of the subconscious emotions and processes that we're going through. And so even though in the last week or so I've been feeling pretty bright and energized and activated, creative, I notice that there's still this posture in my body that is a bit protective. And so today we'll do a back bend practice, which is really beautiful for opening up the shoulders, opening up the heart space, cultivating strength in your back body, in your backbone, and at the same time this real sweet softness in our heart. And so I hope that this practice serves you today. These practices, because they're more of a sharing of our own personal practice, I tend not to give a million options not a million, but in real person time teaching classes, I'll often offer a number of different variations, and I'll do that a little bit today. And at the same time, I want to just bring us through a really delicious, juicy, heart-opening flow. And so just know that you're welcome to modify anything that you need in your own practice. Take a child's pose, take a rest, do a simpler variation, do a more challenging variation, and just flavor it, just like a meal, so that it is tailored to your tastes and what you need today. All right, so let's take a moment to anchor into our body, rock forward and back a few times, and so that you can feel your sitting bones on the earth when you rock back. And then just like you're taking a seat in your favorite armchair at home, let your sit bones anchor into your mat. And allow the bones of your vertebra to naturally stack themselves up so that there is a quality of presence in your spine. And then receive a few of the deepest breaths of your day. Big inhale so that your entire body fills. And then as you exhale, empty out with a sound. Again, inhale, full body breath in. And don't be afraid of the sound of your exhale. And one more time, inhale, full body breath in so that your skin even expands. And as you exhale, just a little shake of your body out. Let's bring both our hands at the heart for the mudra of prayer. Lift your heart up so that your chest expands, your heart gets bigger. And then soften your chin ever so humbly down towards your heart. And let's take a moment to honor Earth Day, to set an intention, a dedication, or a devotion in your practice so that each of your breaths and each moment that we bring more sensitivity and presence to the body becomes a prayer. What do you wish to offer to our planet, Mama Earth, Pachamama, right now? And remember that our bodies are made of earth. We are the elements of soil and minerals, of water, of air, of fire. And so in honoring our bodies, we are also honoring the earth. And in honoring the earth, we are giving deep, devoted respect to our bodies. And so let's take a deep breath in, and this time reach your arms way up and overhead. And then as you exhale, draw both hands down towards your heart. And then again, inhale, reach your arms up, and then you can start to open your eyes and lift your heart. And then as you exhale, walk your right fingertips over to the side, just a little bit of a side bend. And with your next inhale, we'll sweep both arms back up towards the center. And then exhale, tip over to the other side. In breath, coming back to middle. And exhale, little twist to your right. In breath, come back to center. And exhale, little twist to your left. Inhale up through center. And then as you exhale, hands to knees and really round your spine. Inhale, arc your back, little back bend. And then exhale, hands to heart, sit tall. And we'll move through that flow. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, choose one side, tip over there. In breath, back to middle. And exhale, tip the other way. In breath, back up to center. Exhale, twist. In breath, middle. And exhale, twist. In breath, back to center. And exhale, hands on knees, round your spine. Inhale, arc your back, lift your heart. And then exhale, hands to heart, spine to neutral. Good, once more that flow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend. In breath, arms up. Exhale, side bend. In breath, arms up. Exhale, twist. In breath, arms high. And exhale, little twist. In breath, center. Exhale, round your spine. In breath, arc your back. And exhale, hands to heart, spine neutral. Pause for a few moments. And just allow some of that breath flow to sink into your body. Beginning to welcome the elements of earth, groundedness into the body. Some fluidity and flow of the water. Some fire through the heat of the movement. And that air through your breath. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. And this time exhale, a little tip off to the side, but then really walk your hands over so that you tip, tip, tip. And turn your head up towards your upper arm, and then down towards your lower elbow. And just opening up the neck a few times. So moving with your own breath as you inhale, lifting your gaze up, and exhale, and tipping your gaze down. And we'll do that for another few moments. Just letting your breath lead the way with the pace of which you turn your head. Okay, now on your next inhale, sweep both arms up, and then simple exhale onto the other side, and same thing. Reach your sitting bone, that's the opposite to the way that you're tipping down towards the earth, that's your anchor. And find a sweet spot where your shoulder blades can rest onto your back, and you can easily look up towards your upper elbow. And then you can easily turn your gaze down towards your lower arm. And doing that a few times. And so in today's practice, exploring backbends, they're some of my favorite poses because they're quite energizing and uplifting for the heart and for our energy. Clasp your hands together, release your index fingers and your thumb for Temple Mudra, and then take your feet forward, bend your knees, and really lift your spine tall, like direct the energy up towards the sky from your heart. Lift your feet up. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. It's easy to get really slumpy in this pose. I know that's the word, slumpy. And so really see if you can elevate up and out of the bowl of your pelvis for a few breaths. Good. 3 more breaths. And last one. Good. And now bring your feet together. Plant your feet onto the floor. Fingertips onto the earth, and then we'll just pop ourselves up for Malasana or garland pose. If your heels don't touch the floor, totally fine. You can lift up onto your tippy toes. In fact, actually, you can lift up on your tippy toes and just open your knees out a little bit wider first so that you've got space to let your inner thighs roll back and apart. And then you can re-anchor your feet to the floor if that works for your body. Walk your fingertips forward, drop your belly between your thighs, and really send your sitting bones way back and apart as you rest your head towards the floor. You may or may not touch. And if you wish to use Ujjayi breath in your practice, you can do that. Ujjayi is that oceanic sound of your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling also through the nose, but with that slight constriction in your throat. And so it sounds almost like this echoey quality in the back of your throat. Okay, let's walk our fingertips back towards our feet, and then bring your knees together, straighten your legs, and then walk your feet out so that they're hip bone distance apart. Hip bone distance apart is one of your own feet. So if you turn your feet so that your heel to big toe is the distance of your hip bones. And then bend your knees quite a bit so that your belly can easily rest onto your thighs, drape your head and neck towards the floor. And then gently rock yourself forward and back on your feet a few times. Good. Now walk your fingertips forward a little bit so that they're a little bit forward of your shoulders. And then take your right hand to your chest and twist open to the right side a little bit. It's a small twist generally when we keep our hands to our heart. That's totally fine right now. Draw your rib cage in. Good. And then we switch sides. So right fingertips onto the floor just underneath your shoulder, left hand to your heart. A little twist towards the side. And watch that you're not just twisting with your head, but that it's your torso that's twisting, your head is following. And then on your exhale, release back down towards the floor. And then on your next inhale, bend your knees really deeply, reach your arms forward for Utkatasana, or chair pose. Okay, we're going to start to build some heat, so let your sit bones, your bum, go way back. And then as you do that, soften your low ribs in. We tend to flare the ribs, especially if our shoulders are tight. And so drop your ribs down towards your navel, and then become fierce in the way that you are standing in your legs. Build some heat and fire in your thighs. And then clasp your hands, release your index finger and your thumb again for Temple Mudra. It's a really directed energy. Now press your feet evenly down on both sides. Then as you inhale, Stand up straight, lift your arms up, and then do a little back bend. Let the back bend start from your navel. Lift it all the way up towards your heart, and then curl back from there. And then follow your next inhale, come back up to the center, and then exhale, drop both hands down towards your heart. Okay, so we're going to do a few moon salutations. These are some of my faves, as there is a moon coming up as well. And so I'll take you through the flow. I'll talk us through it. It moves one breath, one movement, so it's quite swift. And yeah, if you need to slow it down, just do that. And otherwise, you can come along with me. You're going to start with your hands together at your heart. And then on your next exhale, bend your knees, let your fingertips touch the floor. You're going to sweep them back. And then as you next inhale, lift, arc, and curl into a standing back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart, fold and bow. Now on your next inhale, come up onto your tippy toes and then lift your chest up for our tippy toe squat. And then as you exhale, lower your heels, straighten your legs and fold. Next inhale, look up and lengthen. Then exhale, step your left foot back, knee to the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, curl into a lunge. And then exhale, plant your fingertips to the floor, step your right foot back, and then knees, chest, chin to the floor as you finish your exhale. The next inhale, lift and curl through your heart for a cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, sit your bum down towards your heels, and then lift your bum up towards the sky. Your next inhale, lift your left leg up, and then exhale, step it through your hands, place your back knee onto the floor, reach your arms up to the sky for a lunge. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, step right foot forward, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, standing baby back bend, lift, arc, and curl. And then exhale, hands to heart. That's one side. We'll do the other. Bend your knees, sweep your arms. In breath, lift, arc, and curl, back bend. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, tippy toes, squat. And then exhale, fold. In breath, lift halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back, knee to the floor. In breath, lift your arms towards the sky into a lunge. And then exhale, fingertips down, knee back, knees, chest, chin towards the floor. Inhale, lift, arc, and curl. And then exhale, tuck your toes, sit back towards your heels. Inhale, lift your sit bones up towards the sky. And then exhale for a moment here. In breath, lift your right leg back. Exhale, step your foot forward, knee to the floor. In breath, lift your arms and curl. And exhale, fingertips to the floor. In breath, step and lift. Exhale, fold and bow. Bend your knees. Inhale, lift, arc, and curl, back bend. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes. And so the lunar salutations, which is what we're doing right now, has a lot more fluid, feminine flow to the steps. And so we'll do that a few more times. I will talk you through it. Do your best. Big inhale, stand tall, lift your heart. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms back. In breath, baby back bend, lift, arc, curl. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, tippy toe squat, lift your gaze. Exhale, heels to the floor. In breath, halfway up. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale, reach arms up. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Wait for your in-breath to lift up and curl. Exhale, hips to heels. In-breath, downward facing dog. And exhale here. In-breath, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward, knee to the floor. In-breath, reach into a lunge back bend. And then exhale, fingertips to floor. In-breath, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, lift, arc, curl, back bend. Exhale, hands to heart. Other side, bend your knees, touch the earth. In-breath, lift, arc, and curl. Exhale, hands through prayers and bow. Inhale, tippy toes, squat. And exhale, heels to earth. In-breath, half lift. Exhale, right foot back. Inhale, lift your arms, back bend. Exhale, Ashtangasana, 8-pronged pose, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, lift and crawl, back bend. Exhale, sit back onto your heels. Inhale, lift up, down dog. And exhale to pause. You'd inhale, right leg up. Exhale, foot forwards. In-breath, reach back into a lunge. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. In-breath, step forward. And exhale, bow. Bend your knees, big sweep as you inhale, back bend. Exhale, hands to heart, close your eyes. And taking a few moments to notice how your body feels, how your breath feels. And coming back into this mudra of prayer to anchor in that prayer that you began with at our beginning of our class today, a prayer for the earth. And may this third and final moon salutation be just that, every breath to anchor in this prayer. Big inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, touch the earth. From the earth to the sky, lift up, curl. Exhale, pray and fold. In-breath, tippy toes, squat, lift your eyes. Exhale, fold. In-breath, half lift. Exhale, left foot back, knee to the ground. Big inhale, lift up to your heart, curl. Exhale, fingertips down, knees, chest, chin towards the earth. Keep your shoulders on your back. Inhale, lift, back bend. Exhale, sit onto your toes. In-breath, lift your hips up. Exhale, pause. In-breath, left leg extends. Step it forwards, knee to the ground. Your in-breath, lift and curl. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, right foot forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold and bow. Standing back bend as you lift, arc and go for it. Curl, lift your heart. Exhale, hands to prayer. Second side, big inhale, lift, arc and curl. Exhale, pray and fold. Tippy toe squat as you breathe in. Exhale, fold. Half lift as you in-breath. Exhale, right foot back, knee to the ground. Inhale, lunge forward as you lift your heart. Exhale, 8-pronged toes, knees, chest, chin. In-breath, lift and curl through your heart. Exhale, sit back onto your heels, tuck your toes. In-breath, lift your hips, down dog. And exhale, pause here. Big in-breath, right leg goes up. Exhale, step your foot forwards, knee ground. Inhale, lift and curl. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. In-breath, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Big sweep. Inhale, earth to sky, lift your prayers. Exhale, hands to heart, close your eyes. And every time in practice that we come back to Anjali Mudra, your hands at your heart, is an invitation to come back to prayer, come back to intention. So let's open our feet wide apart, and then turn your heels in and your toes out to the sides. And then we'll bend your knees and let your knees point out in the same direction as your second toes. You can go wider with your stance if you want to go lower, or you can stand up a little bit higher. But either way, just make sure that your knees are pointing out to the second toes roughly. And then bring both your hands to your heart. Now we're going to anchor down a little bit. So you've got both your feet as a platform with stability. But imagine that when you scoop your tailbone slightly forward, that there's this anchor of energy that goes straight down the point that rests between your heels. That becomes the anchor point from which we stay connected to the earth. And then we'll open our arms way out to the sides. Now, turn your arms, not just your hands, but from the shoulders, open up, externally rotate your whole entire arm so that it's like you're catching raindrops with your palms. And then bend your elbows in just a little bit. Now watch, when you do this, sometimes the ribs like to flare out, so again, tuck your ribs down and in. And then bring your elbows slightly back so that your shoulder blades become a little bit closer on your backside. You're going to see if you can kind of memorize this movement a little bit, because we'll do it in a few other back bends in a little bit. But for now, squeeze your shoulder blades, not in a tight way, but in an inviting, soft way towards the center. Good, and then use your feet, root down, inhale, lift your arms up, and then exhale, hands to heart, and then you can heel toe your feet in so that your feet are underneath your sit bones. And you're welcome to turn and face me. I don't know what direction your mat is in, but if you need to look at the screen, then go ahead and make that shift. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of balancing. So shift your weight over to your right foot. And then inhale, bring your left knee up towards your chest. Now, if your hands on the shins is too much, just hold the bottom of the thigh. In other words, front of the shin works well. Now, this is a funny little move. I'll show you from my side, actually. You're going to bend your bottom knee a little bit. And then, don't be shy, stick your butt back. That creates a bit of curve in the low spine, yeah? And bring some fluidity and spring and bounce into your bottom leg. Now, after you've taken the thigh bones, the sit bones back, then scoop your tailbone slightly under, just slightly, so that it gives you more length in your spine, and that anchoring towards the earth feels even more stable. Your left toes, flex them a little bit. And if you've got this, and this feels right, then you're going to release your arms, but keep your knee up. Lift your shoulders up onto your back, and then, up towards your ears, and then draw them onto your back, so that your shoulders, again, come a little bit closer towards each other, the rhomboids. Okay, keep your core engaged. It might not look like a lot, but I know it is. My inner thigh is working hard here. Okay, now release your hands down beside your body, and we're going to start to tilt back. Now, see if you can find a place where your sit bones, your hip bones are level. And then draw your shoulders up towards your ears again. Lift your shoulder blades onto your back so that your heart opens up, and stretch your arms back behind you. Now, option, you can stay here, or the next option is to find your foot with your left arm. Grab onto the inside if you can. And then take your right arm forward like you're catching raindrops. Good, and then one last thing, kick your back leg into your hand. And then really elevate your leg, lift up to your heart. It's like a bow, so as much as you kick out through your foot, see if you can lift and elevate through the heart. And a few breaths. Good, and then as you exhale, release your foot down onto the floor. Give it a little bit of a shake, a little dance. Okay, that was a lot. So let's try the other side. Shift your weight over to your left foot. And then bring your right knee up towards your chest. Give your shin a little squeeze. Ignite your right toes. And that bottom foot will be kind of searching for its balance. And balance isn't this precarious thing where we're stuck stable the whole time. There's always these little micro movements. Just welcome them. Okay, now if this is possible, then what you're going to do is bend your knee a little bit, the bottom knee. Stick your butt back, and then anchor your tailbone down, like it's reaching down through the inseam of your pants, all the way down to your big toe mound and the inner heel. And then once you do that, it usually engages the core a bit, so then you can stretch your arms forward. Lift your shoulders up, draw them onto your back. If you fall out, no worries, just come back in, try again. Okay, and then keeping this relative position, I'm going to start to draw the arms back behind you, shoulder blades up, and then extend your right leg back. Keep your knee bent, keep your pelvis level if you can, and then find your right foot with your right hand outside the foot or inside the foot. Lift your left arm up, catching raindrops, and then kick your right foot into your right hand. And at the same time, balance that out. Find levity with your heart as you open up through the front of your body. And then see what element you could use more of in this pose. You need more earth anchoring. You need more lightness or levity in the heart. Good. And then as you exhale, release your foot down onto the floor. Give your feet a little shake. Give your hands a little shake. Give your butt a little shake. And make a good sound. Okay, awesome. Up at the top of your mat. Feet hip bone distance apart. Release your hands beside your body. We'll take one natural breath in here. And then exhale, natural breath out. Inhale, big breath in. We're going to do half a moon salute. So exhale, bend your knees, touch the earth. Inhale, big sweep, lift, arc, and curl into a back bend. Exhale, hands to prayer and bow. Tippy toes flat as you inhale. And then exhale, heels to the earth, soften your heart. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, step your left foot back, place your knee down onto the ground, and then take your hands to your front thigh. Okay, so we're going to work the same principle of movement in this practice. So let your feet, like your four corners of your right foot, anchor down, and your left toes push down as well. And then take your bum back. And when you do that, this thigh bone is going to anchor more fully into the hip socket, which is where it likes to be. And now from behind your navel, behind your belly button, scoop your tailbone down so slightly so that your core engages. And with this stability in your hips, lunge forward. Now for those of you who might be extra flexible in the room, sometimes we tend to dump and then we lose integrity in the poses, which isn't good for our connective tissues. And so that's why we do the stick the butt back, scoop your tailbone down, and then lean, kind of, not lean, but glide forwards in your hips. Okay, if you've got this, take your right hand onto your right thigh, and then bend your back knee, grab a hold of the inside of your foot, and then really open up your left shoulder blade onto the back. If this is feeling enough, usually for the quad muscle on the left side, just stay here. And if you've got a little bit more space in you, you might want to start to slide your elbow to the inner foot and take your hand to your shin. And then play with that, kind of finding that sweet spot between enough earthiness for stability of the tailbone, but then enough opening and softness of your heart. And we'll take some breaths here. I know, oh my gosh, my thighs are so sore. And if you, like me, just kind of lost your balance onto the front thigh, you can always place your hand onto the floor or onto a block. I hope that this feels nourishing for you. I know It sometimes makes me want to throw F-bombs, but it's okay. Just to breathe into your quad, breathe into your thigh. Okay, and then very gently let your back leg go. And we're going to do a fun little transition. You're going to take your fingertips to the floor, stick your butt back a little bit, and then we're going to walk your right foot over to the left side of your mat. Flex your toes, and then start to put your knee down onto the floor. You can have less of an angle between your calf and your thigh, or you can have more of an angle. Just see what works for your knee. And then keep up onto your back toes. You're going to lengthen the leg back a few times, and then fingertips on the floor. Lift up your bum, stick your sit bones back, and then from behind your belly again, root down towards your tailbone. A few options. You're welcome to stay seated up in King Pigeon, or you can lower down onto your forearms, or you can also lower down onto your fists. Wherever you choose to be, we'll stay for a minute or so. It's roughly 12 breaths. And coming back to that space of prayerfulness. Can you exhale through every breath? What prayer can you offer to the earth? Okay, and then let's slowly take your time to walk on back up. Place your hands onto the floor. Keep your back toes tucked, lift your back knee, and then step your feet back into a downward facing dog. And go ahead and pedal out your feet a few times on each side. Okay, and we will switch aside. So step your left foot forwards and place your right knee down onto the floor. Take both your hands to the top of your front thigh. And then stick your sit bones back so that your hips widen. Scoop your tailbone under. And then with the stability in the hips, evenly glide forward with both sides. Again, watch for one side wanting to dump or move a little bit faster than the other. Go even. And knowing that each side will be different and welcoming that. And so my right side is generally quite a bit tighter than my left. And so I just try and work with it instead of against it. Knowing that I might not be able to reach as far and that's fine. That's part of honoring my body. And so you might choose to stay here, or you might choose to bend the back knee and reach your right arm back to grab your foot. And left elbow can be onto your thigh, and just watch and make sure that there's that stability again in your hips. Sometimes less is more, often less is more. And then notice if you're tightening up through your shoulders, and if so, just let them soften. No need to hold that tension on your shoulders. The shoulders, symbolically in the body, is where we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. So remember, we can let that go. And take a few more breaths here. And then gently, gently let go of your back foot. And then walk your left foot over to the right side. And then come into pigeon hip stretch. You can flex your toes a little bit if you wish. Square your hips off, and then come up onto your back toes and just inch it back a little bit and lengthen your leg forward. And then again, either choose to stay upright for a king pigeon, Or you can lower down into space with your elbows, or even lower down. You can make two fists, stack them, and place your forehead onto your fists. And any time that your breath wants to exhale with a sound, just go for it. It's really, really beautiful and soothing for your nervous system to have that exhale. A few more breaths. And then begin to lift your head and walk your hands back towards your feet. Come up onto your back toes and then stretch both legs back for a downward facing dog. And paddle out both sides. Give your head a shake. Shake your hair out if you have hair. Good. Now on your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back, bend your knee and stack your hips. And really let your right knee point out to the side and start to press more firmly into your left arm. You're going to peek underneath your left armpit, see if you can catch a glimpse of your toes. Now you're welcome to stay here, or we will drop it back into Kamatkarasana, or Wild Thing, and bend your bottom leg and step your right foot back behind you. Now I like to actually pause here for a moment so that I can really anchor into my foot. Take your hand onto your heart, and then as you inhale, anchor down, and then lift up through your chest. You can curl, your right arm might go up and back. And make sure that you're not overreaching with your eyes. See if you can soften your chin so subtly so that the lift really comes from your belly to your heart. Good. Exhale, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. And we'll explore the other side. So lift your left foot up and back, bend your knees, stack your hips, point your right foot over to the side. See if you can gaze, take a look at your foot, and then drop your foot down. Now with your legs, with your pelvis, inhale, lift up. Create strength from the ground up, and then lift your heart and curl your chest. Soften your chin down towards your heart, and then lift pelvis to navel, navel to heart, heart to skull. Few breaths. Then your exhale, hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. Okay, well done. And then place your knees down onto the floor and curl your toes and sit back down onto the heels of your feet. So I'm going to shift forward a little bit. You might need to choose just to really spread your toes out really well. And go ahead and sit down onto your feet. So there's this band of fascia. Fascia is like the glue. It's a connective tissue of the body that goes from our third eye and goes all the way back on the skull, down through the entire back line of the body, down through the legs, and then down through the soles of our feet. And so when we're doing big full body movements like backbends, actually make sure that our feet are really opened up as well. Okay. If you can stay here, stay. If you need a little break, fingertips on the floor, lift your feet, maybe a little tap out. And then we'll do something for the shoulders. So lift your arms up skyward. Remember temple mudra, way back when we did that. Find that. Lift up to your heart. Drop your low ribs. Now keeping this feeling of lift, bend your elbows so that your hands can hold onto the opposite elbow. And if that feels too far, do forearms. And then now your head's got something to press into. So lift up into your arms. Fan your elbows up towards the sides so that your shoulder blades get that beautiful squeeze. hug onto your backside. A few more breaths. Good. And then as you exhale, release your arms. Place your hands to the floor, lift your feet, and then give your feet a little tap or a little kick of the heels works good. Okay, and then last pieces of back bend for the day. And we'll go into Dhanurasana, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow, sometimes known as wheel. And so come on down onto the floor and bend your knees and place your feet just in front of your sit bones. Now, option one, you're going to do Setu Bandhasana or small bridge. So you'll lift your sit bones up, draw your shoulder blades onto the back, and come into here. So that's one option. Option two, you'll come with me. I'll cue you through into a bow pose. And we're going to do it step by step because I have built this up so that hopefully you leave with some key gems from practice today. And so as you inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky, bend your elbows, and then lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and then root them down onto the floor so that you can feel your shoulder blades touch the ground. All right, keeping your shoulders integrated like that, place both your palms down onto the earth. Your elbows might want to splay out, but keep them hugging in. You might notice that your ribs want to flare, so drop your ribs down towards your navel. And then we're just going to go up to the top of our head. Okay, so as you inhale, root down, go crown of the head to the floor. Now walk your hands out to the sides of your mat a little bit more. Plug your shoulders into your back again, point your elbows straight back, and then start to curl more onto your forehead. If this feels okay, big press up. Inhale, press arms down, root your feet down. Do your best to keep your big toes and your inner heels anchored. Take a few breaths. Good. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, slowly lower yourself back down onto the floor. Release your hands beside your body, release your head, and then walk your feet out as wide apart as your mat and let your knees touch in the center. Take a pause. We'll have space to do another 2 or 3 more back bends of your choice. You can come along with me again. I'll cue a little bit less this time, but we'll all be in there. And the invitation with these big back bends as we anchor into the earth with our feet and with our tailbone, really lift and open up through the heart, is to send out those prayers for the earth, for Earth Day today. So whatever it is that you wish to seed into this earth, connect with that in your heart. And then walk your feet in so that they are hip distance apart. If you're doing small bridge, go for it. Otherwise, lift arms up, shoulders to ears, plug your arms onto your back, hands to the floor. Keep your elbows relatively hugging in. And then on your next inhale, skull to earth. You can come up onto your tippy toes if you need more space. Walk your hands out a little bit wider. Plug your shoulder blades onto your back, roll to your forehead. Then as you inhale, big press, lift up. Drop your head. Good. And then come up onto your tippy toes. And if you've got the space, walk your tippy toes a little bit closer towards your fingers. And then pump your heart through your upper arms. Take a few times like you're rocking forward and back on your toes. And then when you're complete, walk your feet forwards. Slowly lower yourself down onto the earth. Flex your hands beside your body, feet wide, knees together. And feel the sensations through your body. If you want to rest and just be with this after echo glow of the back bends, you can. Otherwise, let's do one more. So back bend of your choice. Go for it. Feet hip distance apart. Set your arms. And then really use your breath. And remember to anchor and then open. And then let this be playful rather than like over effort. You know, put some effort in, but then see if you can dance a little bit with your breath. You can find some dance with your pose so that there's some quality of ease and joy. And then when that feels complete in the next breath or so, lower yourself down, feet wide, knees together. Take a few moments to rest. Then take one hand to your heart and one hand to your low belly. For women, take your left hand to your womb. Our first home was inside a womb. And welcome your breath here. Yeah, especially after a big back bend practice like we did today, it's important to do some counter poses to support your body to be in balance. And so we'll do a few twists. You can bring your knees not so much close to your knees to hug, but just legs up so that they're about 90 degrees with your belly. And then drop your knees over to your left side. You're welcome to keep your knees bent, or you can straighten your legs and grab a hold of your feet if you wish. And then open up for the twist to your right side. So we stay here for a few more breaths. Just let your breaths become a little bit softer and deeper. Let your eyes close, and as if the eyes can fall a little bit deeper back into their sockets. Good. And then release your feet. Bring them down a little bit so that you're not using your back to kind of like wrench yourself up to change sides. And then we'll do the same thing other side. So bring your knees over to the right. You can go hands onto your knees, or if you've got the space in your body and in your physical space, then you can stretch your legs out. And let your body get a little bit heavier and settle into the earth. And then invite the muscles of your face to also soften, like your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue, that space inside your ears, the space of your temples, to it slowly and mindfully. Let go of your feet. And then bring your feet back down and your body to neutral on your mat. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Let your shoulders still be restful onto your back. And then coming into a happy baby pose, but making lots of stops along the way. So one hand onto each shin. And then part your knees so that they're as wide as your armpits, so that there's space for your belly. This is a good place to stay. It's a nice nourishment for your low back. Otherwise, you can point the soles of your feet to the sky and just grab onto your shins. Kind of rock yourself from side to side. The next option is to hold the outside edges of your feet and let your elbows rest onto the insides of your knees. There's kind of this tendency to want to round the back, but instead see if you can keep your sacrum, your low back, onto the earth. Then hug your knees gently into your arms into your knees. And one more little adjust. We've done this before. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Rest them onto your back so that there's more space in your torso. And then shift your weight from one side to the other. And then bring the soles of your feet towards each other like a Baddha Konasana, like a diamond shape. And then let your knees go apart. Stretch your arms so that your elbows are relatively straight. Big breath in. And then out through the mouth. And then release your feet and let your feet land onto the earth so that they're a little bit wider than your hips, or a lot wider than your hips. Take up all the space that you need. Rest your hands inside your body on the ground. And then make any little adjustments that support you to feel held, where the points of your body can be in connection with this beautiful earth. And then we rest, just as our earth is taking a rest. It's like nature is getting a rest. And we too can offer our body just that. Some time of integration, rejuvenation. And so Shavasana is so important for these reasons. To rest and integrate. And so please stay for Shavasana. Even take a longer Shavasana if you've got the space in your day. But otherwise, we'll rest here for a few minutes, and then I'll bring us all back. if you've got the time to stay a while longer, please do. And if it's time for you to close your practice, then stay super connected to your body even as you bring awareness to your breath and awareness to your heart. And begin to move your body in sweet and nourishing ways so that you begin to come back into your own body and into your own space. And bending your knees and reaching your arms up and overhead if you desire. And then rolling over to your side. Take a few moments right now to just place one palm onto the earth and connect the frequency of the earth. Pachamama, Mother Earth, our home. And then use your arms to guide you back up to sit. And we will close with a prayer together. And so when last time this practice, not from a place of habit, from a place of deep reverence and presence, bring your hearts to prayer. Bring your hands to prayer. And humbly bow your head towards your heart. Humbly bow your head towards this earth. And send out a prayer, a blessing, a wish that feels resonant for you. It could be a thank you. It could be an intention or an action that you can commit to doing for the betterment of our planet. It could be one simple thing. And then let's send out that prayer with the sound of one Om. If you wish to join me, receive your next deep breath in. From my heart to yours, onto the earth, I bow. Namaste. So thank you for sharing practice, either live or as a recorded session later. We hope that it was nourishment for you and your body. And so we're going to continue sharing our practices until the end of this month. Let us know if you've been enjoying them and give us some love. We've started a YouTube channel for Inspired Yoga Institute. So we're slowly putting up all the videos that we've been recording in the last week. So if you want to check out some other classes, go to Inspired Yoga Institute YouTube page. And you can also sign up for our newsletter as well. We always send some goodies in there. And that can be found on our website at inspiredyogainstitute.com. And I'll stay on for the next little bit. So if you want to say hi, or how you're feeling in your body right now, that would be really great. It's nice for me to know what's happening on the other side of the screen and say hello. So you can pop that into the comments. If you have any questions at all, you can pop those in there too, or you can send me a message. So much gratitude to you and your day and your loved ones. I hope you're well. Namaste.